There's something barreling toward the south right now that a lot of people aren't taking seriously yet. By Monday, they will be. A winter storm is about to stretch 2,000 miles across this country. Ice from Dallas to the Carolinas. Snow measured in feet across Tennessee. Temperatures dropping 30 degrees below normal and staying there through the weekend. The National Weather Service is calling it potentially catastrophic. The Red Cross is pre-positioning teams. Texas just activated emergency resources. Forecasters are warning that hundreds of thousands of people could lose power. Not for hours, but for days, because ice is going to snap power lines faster than crews can fix them. Friday, it starts. By Saturday, it's everywhere. Sunday, it's still going. Some places won't see temperatures above freezing until Tuesday, and the city's about to get hit. They're not Minneapolis. They're not Buffalo. These are places that get maybe 1 or 2 snow days a year and treat it like a state of emergency. Places that own a handful of salt trucks for metros of millions. Places that have been growing like crazy while their winter budgets collected dust. So what happens when a once-in-a-decade ice storm lands on cities that assumed once in a decade meant never? 6 cities, 1 storm. Let's get into it. Number 6, Charlotte, North Carolina. Charlotte has 12 salt trucks. 12. For a metro area of 2.7 million people, that number tells you everything about how this city thinks about winter. And normally, that's fine. Charlotte averages about 4 inches of snow per year. Most winters, a couple trucks and some bridge treatments get the job done. This weekend isn't most winters. The forecast has Charlotte under significant ice accumulation starting Saturday. Not snow, ice. The kind that coats every surface, pulls down power lines, and turns roads into something you literally cannot drive on. Snow, you can crawl through. Ice, you sit and wait. Charlotte's become a magnet for transplants over the last decade. New York finance people, Chicago professionals tired of February. The banking sector keeps expanding. The suburbs keep sprawling, and every year the metro adds another 100,000 people. What the metro hasn't added is winter capacity. Same dozen trucks, same skeleton crew, same plan. Treat the bridges, salt the interstates, hope everyone stays home until it melts. Here's the problem with that plan. When ice pulls down power lines, the melting doesn't happen. Temperatures are staying below freezing through Monday. Whatever falls is staying on the ground. And Charlotte's airport, one of the busiest in the country, a major American Airlines hub, sits right in the middle of it. When Charlotte's airport goes down, flight schedules up and down the East Coast go with it. Picture this: Saturday evening in a South End apartment. You hear a crack outside, that gunshot sound of a tree limb giving way under the weight of the ice. Then another, then the lights flicker and go dark. You check your phone. The outage map is lit up across the whole county. It's not coming back tonight, maybe not tomorrow either. 12 salt trucks. Number 5, Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina. An hour up the road from Charlotte, the Research Triangle is about to learn the same lesson. Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, the tech corridor, the university hub, the place that every best places to live list has been recommending for a decade straight. Apple's building a billion-dollar campus here. Google's expanding. It's become the default answer when someone from California asks where they should move now that Austin's too expensive. The Triangle's population has roughly doubled since 2000. What hasn't doubled is the snow removal budget, but here's what makes Raleigh different from Charlotte. Sprawl. Charlotte's got sprawl too, but it's got a real downtown, a core. Raleigh-Durham is 3 cities and about 40 suburbs connected by highways. There's no central nervous system. If the highways go down, you're just stuck wherever you are, and the highways are going down. The forecast has significant ice moving in Saturday, lingering through Sunday, with temperatures not climbing above freezing until Monday at the earliest. The roads will be impassable. Not slow, impassable. One local meteorologist put it plainly this week: if you don't have what you need by Friday afternoon, you're not getting it until next week. That's not fear-mongering, that's geography. When your entire region is built around car travel and the roads are skating rinks, you're not going anywhere. Amazon's not coming. DoorDash isn't coming. If you didn't stock up, you're waiting it out with whatever's in your pantry. A lot of people moved to the Triangle because it felt like a cheat code. Tech jobs without Bay Area prices. Mild weather without Midwest winters. Good schools, good airports, reasonable cost of living. This weekend, the cheat code has an asterisk. Hashtag 4, Nashville, Tennessee. Nashville might get a foot of snow this weekend. Let that sink in. Nashville averages about 4 inches of snow per year. Total, they might get 3 years worth by Sunday morning. The city has some snow removal capacity, more than Charlotte or Raleigh at least, but there's a difference between handling a few inches and handling 12. A few inches means slow commutes and school closures. A foot means you're not leaving your house for days. And it's not just the snow, it's what's coming with it. The Arctic air pushing this storm is brutal. Nashville's looking at single-digit temperatures Saturday night, wind chills below zero. This is the kind of cold that kills people who lose power and don't have backup heat. The kind of cold that freezes pipes in houses that weren't built for it. Nashville's had a crazy decade. The skyline's unrecognizable from 10 years ago. The city became this magnet for healthcare jobs, music industry money, tech expansion. Everyone wanted a piece of it. The population surged. But here's the thing about growth. Cities spend money on what attracts people, not what protects them. You build the stadiums, the entertainment districts, the incentive packages for corporations. You don't triple your snow removal budget for a storm that might happen once a decade. That calculation works until it doesn't. Downtown will probably be fine. They'll keep Broadway clear, keep the honky-tonks lit up, but the subdivisions in Williamson County, the new developments in Mount, Juliet, the places where all the transplants bought houses, that's where it gets dicey. A lot of those folks moved from places with real winters. They thought they were done with this. This weekend says otherwise. Number 3. Atlanta, Georgia, 2 inches. That's all it took in January 2014. 2 inches of snow and Atlanta collapsed. It started around lunchtime on a Tuesday. The snow started falling and everyone tried to leave work at the same time. Within an hour, every highway was gridlocked. Within 2 hours, people were abandoning their cars on the interstate. Kids couldn't get home from school. Some of them slept in the buildings overnight. It took 24 hours to clear the roads. The images went national. Thousands of cars frozen in place on the connector, taillights stretching to the horizon. The term snowpocalypse was born. 2 inches. Now let's talk about what's coming this weekend. Atlanta's looking at half an inch of ice, maybe more. And half an inch of ice is worse than 6 inches of snow. Snow, you can crawl through. Ice, you can't move at all. And ice is heavy. It pulls down power lines, snaps tree branches, takes out transformers. Georgia Power is already pre-staging crews. They know what's coming. But when ice accumulates faster than you can clear it, staging only gets you so far. Atlanta's grown by over 1 million people since 2014. The highways are more congested than ever. The sprawl has pushed further into Cobb and Gwinnett and Cherokee counties. And the winter infrastructure hasn't meaningfully changed. Same roads, same power grid, way more people. Picture this. Saturday night in Buckhead, the freezing rain has been falling for hours. You hear the crack of limbs giving way outside. The power flickers twice, then goes out. You pull up the outage map on your phone. Half the metro is dark, and it's not coming back tonight. Crews can't work in an active ice storm. Every hour, more lines go down. The backlog builds. Atlanta will recover. It always does. But the people who lived through 2014 remember what it felt like to be stuck, helpless, watching the city seize up around them. This weekend, they're going to remember it again. Number 2, Memphis, Tennessee. Most people don't think about Memphis when they think about cities that matter. It's not on the hot migration destination lists. It's not flooded with tech workers and influencers. It doesn't make the magazine covers. But here's what Memphis has. FedEx. The Memphis airport is one of the busiest cargo hubs on the planet. Millions of packages flow through it every day. The city sits at the crossroads of major freight rail lines and interstate highways. When goods move across America, a huge percentage of them move through Memphis. When Memphis freezes, supply chains freeze with it. The ice arrives Friday night. Temperatures won't climb above freezing until next week. Roads will be impassable. Trucks will stop moving. And suddenly, a regional weather event becomes a national logistics problem. Now multiply that by every other city we've talked about. Charlotte's airport down. Atlanta's highways locked. Nashville buried. Memphis paralyzed. The entire southern corridor, the route that half of American commerce flows through, iced over simultaneously. That's what's coming. But let's bring it down to street level. Because Memphis isn't just a logistics hub. It's a city with deep poverty, aging housing stock, and neighborhoods that already struggle during normal times. The homes in South Memphis weren't built for extended deep freezes. A lot of them have old heating systems, poor insulation, exposed pipes. When the power goes out in neighborhoods like that, people get hurt. We saw it in Texas in 2021. The deaths weren't evenly distributed. They were concentrated in low-income communities. People without backup heat in substandard housing with nowhere to go. Memphis has those same vulnerabilities, and this storm doesn't check your zip code before it hits. Number 1. Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas, February 2021. Winter storm Uri. You probably remember it. The Texas grid collapsed. 4 million households lost power. Pipes froze and burst across the state. Water systems failed. People burned furniture to stay warm. People froze to death in their own homes. The final count was over 240 dead. Economic damage in the hundreds of billions. The worst infrastructure failure in modern Texas history. And now, almost exactly 4 years later, another major winter storm is heading straight for Dallas-Fort Worth. Freezing rain starts Friday night. Ice and sleet through Saturday. Temperatures below freezing for 48 to 60 consecutive hours. Wind chills in the single digits, possibly near zero. ERCOT, the agency that manages the Texas grid, says they're ready this time. They've weatherized power plants. They've run inspections. They've added emergency reserves. They say they can handle it. We're about to find out. 7.5 million people live in DFW. It's the 4th largest metro in the country, and a huge number of those people arrived in the last 5 years, which means they've never experienced what Texas can do when the weather turns. They came for the jobs, the space, the no state income tax lifestyle. A lot of them came from places with real winters. They figured they'd traded that away. This weekend is a reminder that you can move away from winter, but sometimes winter follows. Dallas doesn't have the salt trucks, it doesn't have the plows, it doesn't have the institutional muscle memory for extended ice events. The plan, like everywhere else in the South, is treat the bridges, salt the main roads, tell everyone to stay home. That plan only works if the power stays on. If the grid holds, Dallas gets through this. It's ugly, it's expensive, people are miserable, but it's survivable. If the grid fails again, people die. That's not hyperbole. That's what happened 4 years ago. Picture this: Saturday morning in a Frisco subdivision. Temperature outside is 18 degrees. The ice is a 1/4 inch thick on every surface. Roads are impassable. Schools are closed. You're sitting in your living room, watching the news, watching the grid metrics, waiting. You've done everything right. Flashlights charged, water stored in case the pipes go, extra blankets, full tank of gas in the car. And now you just wait, because that's all anyone can do. The stress test arrives Friday. By Monday, we'll know if Texas actually fixed anything, or if it was just talking. 6 cities, 1 storm. These are places that spent the last decade growing, building, booming. Places that put money into stadiums and tax incentives and new subdivisions, while the winter preparedness line item stayed frozen at 2010 levels. And that made sense most of the time. You don't buy northern infrastructure for southern cities. The math doesn't work until it does. This weekend is the math working out. A once-in-a-decade storm landing on cities that bet against once-in-a-decade. If you're in the path right now, you probably already know what to do. Stock up, charge everything, fill some water containers in case pressure drops. Check on your neighbors, especially the older ones, especially anyone who might not have backup heat, and then you wait, because that's what this weekend is, a waiting game. By Wednesday, most of this will be melting. Life will go back to normal. People will joke about how the South can't handle winter, same as they always do. But between now and Wednesday, it's going to be serious. People are going to lose power for days. Roads are going to be impassable. Some people, the ones in the wrong house, in the wrong neighborhood, without the right resources, are going to get hurt. That's not doom mongering. That's just what happens when the weather doesn't read the brochure. Stay safe out there. I'll see you on the other side.